Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's focus for Saturday, November the 12th, 2022 at 12:54 p.m. Central Time. I cannot speak for you. I know what you're thinking. Of course you can't speak for me. I cannot speak for you. I can only speak for myself. And all I can say is, wow, do I need today's focus? Not because of what we're going to be talking about, just because I need to focus on something spiritual, because my mind has been all over the place. It's just no sleep, just thinking this and this and this and this distraction and this distraction and this frustration. And I just need to stop and say, okay, it's time for today's focus. Now, you obviously know something has gone wrong because it's 12:55 p.m. Today's focus is really designed to be ready for you in the morning. We haven't gotten it as early as we would like. Now, some of them I've been able to do like, 11 o'clock at night, 12 a.m., 1 a.m. And that's what I should have done last night. I should have just walked right up here at about 12:30, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. and turned on the microphone. It would have been better for everyone, but I did not. But you know what? It's Saturday. It's almost 1 p.m. Central Time. I can't worry about what was, what is. All I can do is just move forward. So let's focus in on something. Are you ready? Today's focus, we once again turn our attention back to 2 Timothy chapter 2. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 14. Of these things, put them in remembrance, charging them before the Lord. This is a charge before God, Okay, charge them before the Lord, warn them before the Lord that the striving not about that they strive not about words to no profit. And the last time we were together for the Today's Focus podcast series, we talked about this striving about words, fighting about words, and when should we do it? When should we not? Should we do it? How should we do it? And I gave you like 3 things to consider. I was hoping it was going to spark some good conversation, but I still think that was an important discussion. But we left something out. No, we are warned before God. Don't fight about words, especially, and in fact, I think this is very important, to no profit. When you're just fighting and arguing about words and it's to no profit. And a lot of times what determines this is the mentality of why you're fighting about the words. If no one really wants to learn, then you're just arguing about words to no one's profit. And we talked a little bit about that. But here's the phrase I want to focus on today. All right? Strive not about words to no profit, but to the subverting of the hearers. The subverting of the hearers. Now, it's almost gives me this impression, and I think this is accurate. Here are believers, people in the church, and they're fighting over words. They're fighting over words, right? And it's of no value, no profit. Now, there are times we do have to fight about words in church history. Remember two Greek words that were separated by one letter. Basically divided Christianity. We could go through fighting over very important doctrinal concepts that sometimes comes down to a word. So there's a time to do so. But this is fighting over words to no profit. But this is the thing. It almost gives the idea that here are Christians in the church, Christians somewhere, they're fighting about words and all that is occurring. No profit is happening from it, but it is hurting those who hear it. It is hurting those who are listening to it. As a Christian, have you ever considered how your words is hurting those who hear it and hurting those who listen to it? When you're on social media arguing with other Christians, do you ever stop to think how it's hurting those who are watching it, those who are looking at it, those who are reading it? Because I've watched Christians on social media just tear people apart. They're like, just go for the throat. And they don't even care how anyone else may see it or look at it or consider it. Have you ever considered, this is very important, Christian parent, when you're sitting in the front seat leaving the church, how your words about the church service, about the pastor, about the sermon, how that could actually hurt those who may be listening from the back seed. Have you ever considered how your words could be hurting other people? The King James uses the phrase, and I think it's pretty fascinating, the phrase, subverting of the hearers, subverting of the hearers. The Greek word is really fascinating. Let's pull it up. Let's go to the Blue Letter Bible app really quick. The Blue Letter Bible app. All right. It's this Greek word. The subverting of hearers is this Greek word. You ready? Here we go.
Strong's G 2692. Catastrophe. Catastrophe.
Catastrophe. Catastrophe. Catastrophe. Catastrophe. Does that sound familiar? Catastrophe. 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 Does that sound familiar? You're probably familiar with the idea of a catastrophe, right? A catastrophe is really, really, really bad. The catastrophe, the Strong's definition, is an overturn, a catastrophe, a demolition, an overthrow, subverting. It means overthrow, destruction of cities, or it can be used as the extinction of a spirit of consecration. Now, that's interesting. The extinction of a spirit of consecration. Here's someone who's a believer. Here's someone who's a Christian. Here's someone who's trying to live for God. And because of people fighting over words, right, to no profit, they are subverted. They are overthrown. Their Christian life, a catastrophe happens in their Christian life because of listening to fellow believers, listening to Christians. I wonder how many Christians have been hurt by Christians who fight over words to no profit and act like children. And instead of acting humble, willing to learn and work together to find truth, we just rip each other into shreds. Now, again, there's always balance in all of these things. That's always the difficult thing in the minds of some Christians. They'll hear one concept and throw out the others. We're still supposed to call out false doctrine. We're still supposed to call out error. We're supposed to. And it's more than appropriate when there's public teaching to publicly criticize it. There is times to do that. Sometimes you must do that. But then there are other times we have to ask ourselves, what am I hoping to accomplish here? Is there going to be any profit? And then most importantly, this is very important, is it going to lead to a catastrophe or a catastrophe? Catastrophe is the Greek word to subverting the hearers, hurting those who are listening, hurting those who hear it. Fighting over words to no profit that ends and hurting others. This is something that we have to really, 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 really consider. I've just seen it too much, especially on social media. Christians it's like World War III on Christian Twitter or Christian Facebook or Christian whatever. And you're like, what in the world? Do you not realize there's a million other people watching this, reading this, or seeing this? They may even be mocking it and making fun of it. But Christians can't stop to go, you know what? It's better for that person to walk away thinking they're right than to continue to engage in this fight because we're going to subvert and hurt the hearers. Does anyone ever stop on Christian social media to go, hey guys, I think we may actually be hurting more people than helping? Oh, yeah, we're getting in our little digs and our little ooh, we can bash this pastor. Ooh, we can say these really mean things to each other. But who are we actually helping? Who benefits from it? Now, I've been just as guilty. It's the key is trying to find the when do I turn on this microphone and deal with an issue that other people are going to hear, other Christians are going to hear, and do so in a way that's not a catastrophe, a catastrophe for them, spiritually speaking. How do I do that? Or when is it better not to do anything? And it's a difficult thing, even from the pulpit, knowing when to say something and when not to say something. There isn't a clear guideline, but I think that if you look at the text, to me, a couple of things is, again, They strive we're getting a warning to strive not about words to no profit. The key is, why are we doing this? Because that will determine if there's going to be any profit. It's about ego, pride, just trying to be right. Well, that no one's going to help. How we go about doing it, right? Are we working together to find truth, or are we just fighting, right? I think there's a lot of things. What profit is there going to be gained from it? What's going to be the outcome of this? And then we have to constantly be considering who's listening. Who's listening? Who's going to benefit from this? Or who's going to be hurt by this? Now, if someone's going to be hurt by truth, that doesn't mean we stop speaking truth, right? You can't do that. But I just think that we got to think about what we're doing and why we're doing it. We got to think about what we're doing and why we're doing it. 2 Timothy 2:14. That is today's focus. I would love to get your thoughts about all of this, but just today, just consider how many times your words, fighting about words, your whatever you've engaged in as a Christian has been a catastrophe to those who have heard and read what you have said. Some convicting words from 2 Timothy 2:14. Today's focus for Saturday, November the 12th, 2022.